Hi guys, James from DBG here and welcome to another unboxing. Probably a bit of a rant and chat as normal, as you've probably come to expect from me. As you can see, there's something very different. Not 40k, not bolt action, not World War II, but Oathmark. But it's not Oathmark. It's actually, what I'm planning on doing is Warlords of Erewhon. Warlord Games Fantasy Warband. Skirmish game. Bit of background. When I first started wargaming, way back when, it was off the back of playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay and Dungeons and Dragons after that. But Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay was the main thing we played at school for a while. And then obviously 40k came along, and then I really got into fantasy in a big way when 3rd edition came out, which was the big box. The first proper big box. Was it 4th edition? No, 4th edition. Warhammer Fantasy. It was a big box with all the elves and all the goblins in it, and then you had to, and then I stuck with it right away up until 7th. But I've always had a soft spot for the weird stuff, like goblins. I had a 3,000 point goblin army. There was nothing in it other than goblins of the two types, which was common goblins and night goblins. The whole army was led by a night goblin great shaman, and there was wolf riders running around, wolf chariots, huge blocks of 30-40 goblins with spears. Yeah, I loved it. So I had a soft spot for all the weird stuff that you wouldn't normally find in armies. So yeah. And then when Warlords of Erewhon came out, I followed it for a bit. I'm not really sure about it, but hey, roughly the same system as bolt action, which I know how to play. It's using D10s instead of D6s, but it's quite similar, and we're back to the old way of different stat lines, where bolt action everything has the same stat line for what it is. Anyway, so I managed to pick up a box of Goblin Wolf Riders and a box of Goblin Infantry. As you see, there's 30 Goblin Infantry in there and 15 Goblin Wolf Riders. Now the thing about these goblins are, they're nothing like Games Workshop's or Mantic's or anybody else's fantasy goblins. They don't have the pointy noses. What they do have, they're more like the Lord of the Ring ones, which is kind of cool, kind of different. And they're very medieval. They're very sort of like early medieval period, around the 900s, 1000s, which is also very cool. So we're just going to have a quick look at these. Just a note on bases and stuff. In here, you get square bases. In there, you get rectangular bases. But I picked up these oval bases years ago for a commission, but the client wanted to use rectangular bases, so I used rectangular bases. So I had these left over. They're not going to be clear. I'm going to texture them as I would do normally, and I've got loads of these. These are Mantic. Loads of these Mantic bases. For some reason, so I'm going to use those for the infantry, because it's a skirmish game. They don't need to be ranked up, and I'm never ever going to play stuff like Kings of War or anything like that, mass battle games. This is purely just going to be a skirmish game, about 1,000 points. These two boxes, because I've done the army list, comes to just under 750 points, and there's 45 miniatures, bish bash bosh, decent sized force. And away you go. So without further ado, let's have a look at these. This is just going to be a quick cursory overview. So as I said, square bases. We don't need those. Put those one side. So first the box. As you see, artwork is very cool, very representative of what you get. And you see it's done by North Star and Osprey Games. And on the back, gives you a bit of blurb, basic assembly guide, and a picture of what they look like, all made up. As you can see, they are very cross between Lord of the Rings and early medieval. So you get 6 sprues, 5 miniatures per sprue, adds up to 30. And as you can see, is it going to focus? Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Nice, crisp sculpts. There's a nice selection of hand weapons down the bottom there. You do get 10 heads, which I think is very cool. There's some have leather hats, some have conical helmets. Obviously you've got the horned helm, which would be very good for denoting unit leaders. Then we've got the bows. With this you get 5 hand weapons, 5 bows, and 5 spears with shields. Then at the top here, there's a banner pole right at the very top, and focus stuff for a unit leader there. So that's very cool. And if you look at the back, mainly going to be detail on that. I do like the stud work on these two in particular, and the mail. The mail's very cool. So yeah, there's 30 of those. And now we're on to the wolves. So in here, it says on the front you get 15 hard plastic 28mm Goblin Wolf Riders. Flip it over, more blurb about them, basic instructions and what they look like painted. So, let's open them up. As you can see, rectangular bases, won't need those. They'll go in my base stash. And you get 3 sprues of riders and 6 sprues. No, 5 sprues of wolves. So there's 3 wolves on each sprue. Adds up to 15. 5 riders on each frame adds up to 15. So again, we'll put those to one side. Let's start with the wolves. As you can see, they are standard half and half. And they should fit on those oval bases really nicely. And if you notice on the inside, they're numbered. So that's 2 and 2, 3 and 3, and that's obviously 1 and 1. So you know which ones go together. But as you can see, their details are quite soft around the fur. They're very akin to the 1990s Games Workshop plastic wolves, but still very cool. Still quite a lot of detail on them. Now for the riders. Now these come in 2 sections, unlike the goblins. You have your legs and torsos, which is probably so you can angle the torsos for the archers. Because again, in this, you get 5 spears. 5 spears. Again, you get a nice, I think you get 10 heads again, which is very cool. 5 bows, all up there, and 5 hand weapons, either scimitar style or axes or picks. And then we've got, I think these are helmet adornment. On the back, there's the shields. Again, the work on the mail and the studded leather armoured discs is very cool. So, there you go. That is what I'm going to be working on. Let's just put these back so you've got something pretty to look at. So what I'm going to be working on, it is technically still March. I have no idea when this video is going to go out. Although since we're all still in quarantine and off work, probably in the next few days or so. So yeah, I'll be doing these, and then April my commission work starts again. I already have some jobs in. At the moment, the postal service still works. without too many restrictions. So that should mean that any commission jobs I have will be dealt with in a normal manner and in the normal time frame, which is very good for everyone involved. So, as usual, do check all the links and stuff in the description to the social media and Patreon and affiliates and sponsors. Again, with Goblin Gaming, they have closed their distribution centre until, I believe, the middle of April. They are still taking online orders, and they have said that they will honour them as quickly as humanly possible. But obviously, at the moment, things are weird, to say the least. So Goblin Gaming will still be honouring orders. It will take a little bit longer than the normal 24 hours to sort out and stuff. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.